So today I thought to take a look at two models from Hornby, and it's quite fitting really because Sankey Viaduct, the oldest viaduct to transport a mainline route still in use today, is approaching its 200th year anniversary. And we're going to take a look at two models, or two packs of models rather, which represent a prototype or prototypes from that sort of era when the viaduct was opened, and they come courtesy of Hornby. To my left I have R60166, which is a Liverpool and Manchester Railway horse wagon pack, and to the right I have R60164, a Liverpool and Manchester Railway coal wagon pack. Let's take a look and see what you get in each. So not the standard red Hornby packaging that you will see on many of your shelves at your local model shop or online. This sort of fits in with its release of Lion in that bookended style of packaging. So we've got this sort of mustard yellow colour, which I think is quite nice for a sort of an early or pioneering actually railway rolling stock. Sort of sets it apart from what is in its main range. Inside the horse wagon you have assembly instructions. Why would I need those? Well, simply put, you get neddies. Yes, injection moulded horses that can be added straight inside your vehicles. So you've got 3 neddies there actually, and these injection moulded chain link couplings. Yes, we're before sort of 3-link shackles and things like that, so these are simply clip-on with little holes in either end there, and they sort of got this rigid droop to them, and they simply clip on to the lugs provided on the end of the wagons. I actually prefer this dense foam packaging to the sort of clamshell, plastic clamshell. I've said this many a time before, and I think it's just easier to get models in and out rather than faffing around with bits of creaky plastic. So here we have your horse wagon, and you can see there is detail to the underframe there, even though it's not really going to be seen on any model unless you turn the model upside down. We've got 2 screws which presumably support the superstructure, so this is a sort of a modular platform if you like. You can put different body shells on top of the chassis of the wagon, and you can really see everything's exposed. So the transfer of loads between the buffers would go to this centre point here in the wagon, where presumably there would be a centrally located spring to sort of absorb some of the shocks, just to stop those horses going flying in transit. Simple wooden panelling design to the ends of the wagons, and if we'll take a look, this carefully, I believe, lifts off. There we go. So that you can position your horses inside. So we've actually got 4 lugs at the top of the wagon there, just to allow you to do that. Carefully placing it back there just to make sure I don't squash the buffers, which are quite exposed and actually quite fragile on this model. That's something just to be wary of. There's not an awful lot of support holding those buffers in place to the wagon chassis. There we are, that's clicked into place, so I'll just put that back in its box. And let's take a look at the other one. So these are the coal wagons. Again, we've got those chain link shackles which are moulded in a permanently drooped fashion, so they're not under strain all the time. And here we have a design of wagon which really harks back to the days of horse-drawn carts. All wooden construction. Obviously this is injection moulded plastic, but the prototypes would have been all wooden construction, and obviously towards the end of their lives rotted away very, very easily. So trying to find traces of things like this is quite difficult, and I can imagine for research purposes trying to find an exact prototype on which to base your injection moulded tooling can become a little bit difficult. So obviously at this period standardization isn't really a thing. Everybody's producing their own things to their own needs. Heights of wagons and things like that were not really considered. It was only really when you had the railway clearinghouse standards that things started to become of some sorts standardized, and that even at the early days of that, it was only on common components. So here we have an all wooden construction with some ironwork supporting the smallest axle box journals I think I've seen on a ready to run wagon, and you can see we've got an impression of the leaf springs moulded just behind there. So there you go, that's a look at 2 wagon packs arriving with your local Hornby stockist. If you'd like to take a look at more of these, including relative pricing and further information, visit your local Hornby stockist. Enthusiasm for railways large and small? What a wonderful hobby this is. Why not do something about it? But where to start? How do you get to the heart of the hobby, get closer to the action at exhibitions, discover better ways of making things, new products, and go behind the scenes at some of the UK's biggest railway attractions? Simple, a membership that delivers all this and more. Get every new issue of BRM, Traction, Engineering in Miniature, Narrow Gauge World and Garden Rail magazines before they arrive in shops. That's 5 magazines, and that's just the start. Access more than 800 back issues with the ability to search for articles. A growing archive of track plans for project inspiration. Exclusive behind-the-scenes videos. Win big with our monthly competitions. And gold membership to the online forum RM Web. Plus you get a free show ticket to one of our great weekends out. The Festival of British Railway Modelling, the London Festival of Railway Modelling, and Bristol Model Railway Exhibition. We think our digital subscription is the best, but don't take our word for it. Activate your no obligation free trial today and try for yourself. Simply give it a go and decide after you've sampled all the benefits. The ultimate digital subscription for the railway enthusiast, getting you to the heart of the hobby.